Hi, Reggie. First, I have a bone to pick with you. Is that
You coming out hot.
yeah, you got a grown man over here crying, man. I want to tell you to stop
Mm,
it with that, but man, keep it going.
mm,
But you do
mm.
have a grown man over here crying. My question is about why is it was it important to you to go into the prison system? And can you speak to two things when you answer this question? One, about the number of African Americans in prison, and then two, why you didn't show why you focus on the classroom stuff as opposed to the gritty stuff. I'd be interested in your thinking on your approach there.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for your question, and thank you for your tears, all of it. Thank you. Um, hey, listen, I wasn't really that interested in the grit of it and the exploitation of the violence of it. What we do on Swagger is we reach for the humanity, and if you're touched by it, it's because we're really letting you know, letting the world know, reminding all of us, number one, that these are kids and that they're human. Now, we're not a show about prison reform and youth detention reform, but in the context and the confines of our show, we can lean into some ideas, which is how do we make people that are incarcerated, making no excuses for what they did, maybe they deserve to be there, maybe they do not deserve to be there, but how can they come back into society? And so there are a lot of programs out there that are really looking to make people in detention centers go from not the next sort of a penal institution and into colleges. And so I was really moved by that idea and really moved by the idea that even if you were incarcerated, you still have a mind, you still have a soul, you still have a spirit. And really wanted to highlight that, really wanted to challenge our perspectives of whether or not someone who's incarcerated should be thrown away and dismissed and thought of as like people that do not deserve to still have a life. So that was a big part of it. Really, the sort of like central question we raise in Swagger is how do we treat kids in this country and in the world? How do we treat kids? Like that is the foundation of our show. And so, um, look, as we all say, like tomorrow's not promised, I don't know, maybe there's a season 3, maybe there's not, but we got this right here, right now. And so while we're here, we want to give you like an amazingly entertaining show, but we also want to challenge some perspectives. And particularly, we have so many of our youth incarcerated and no one's talking about it.
When I first saw this series, season one, what struck me right away is I was like, these are some beautiful people, and I'm not. They look good, by the way. The way you shoot them, they look good. It's really noticeable that you know how to shoot black people. But that these are some beautiful people. But I meant beautiful people inside. I know these people. The nuances that you have for all these folks is incredible to me. And so when we talk about this particular episode, 205, you have these nuances on these people and show how beautiful all of them are, from the woman guard who greets them to the ex-player who gets hugs from his friends. There's just all these little nuances to show that, well, I guess what you call community. Can you just speak to that? Because I feel these people.
Yeah, sure. Let me just want to just make one quick clarification, because I know as journalists, there's like so many things you have to cover. So, my request is if the folks that I'd be joining on the call today, if they have not been able to keep up with the show, if they can just at least watch 205. So I just want you to know, I'm happy to talk about anything, but because I didn't know, what level of viewing everyone has been able to have. I just felt like, all right, well, if they haven't seen anything, let's just watch 205. But please feel free to, ask about anything that feels right to you. Is really just going to say one thing that I took as a compliment. I mean, I watched 205 yesterday with Gina and one of our sons. And when they get to that scene where they talk about, this guard that you talked about, the person that greets them, Gina turned to me and said, "Is that a real person? That's a real person, right?" Now, I was like, no, it's actually as an actress, but I really, took that as a great compliment. So, thank you for bringing that up as well. I just think that we go in looking to reveal human beings and human beings that are sometimes flawed. But the ones that we, lean into the most are ones that are just really trying to figure it out. Do you have time for another quick story? So when we finished season 1 of Swagger, I was out of town shooting, and our youngest son was, starting his he was on his baseball season was starting, and he was a little dejected. And here again, I'm gonna get in trouble. Hopefully, he won't see this. He wasn't in the lineup, but like when the pandemic hit, my boy was putting in work. My son was going after it. He was putting in work, getting up 7 a.m, hitting, just doing so much. So I could not wait for the season to start, and he wasn't in the lineup. And I just was like, wow, like what's going on, So then I couldn't wait to get back to LA, got to one of his games. And just to kind of get to it, because people talk a lot about Tanner Carson, but I really felt like my kid was that dude. So I said to the coach, "Hey man, listen, just give my kid a shot. Just like give him a shot, Coach said, "Okay." The kid gets in the lineup the next game, doesn't start, then comes in, like hits a triple. It's like, okay, great, got one at bat, but he showed up. Anyway, you cut to like the end of the season, he's in the lineup, he's playing his ass off, he's starting. And I really got the sense that, like, I feel like my kid could be MVP of the team. Well, by the end of the season, he was MVP of the entire league. And I say that story for one reason, not to sort of say like, wow, look how great my kid is. I'm saying like how interesting this journey is, because as parents, sometimes you don't feel like you should say something to the coach. Then if you do, you hope you have the right approach. Like in that situation, if my kid is not playing, he's probably not a D1 athlete right now. And so like, kind of have to like, it's because it really struck me, a lot of people were really like upset at Jenna Carson. And some people really, but because she saw something in that maybe other people don't see. Now, like, what if this coach is an asshole? And I appreciate my coach my son's coach giving him another shot. What if he was just like, nah, and blew us off? Then what do you do? So then there's always that dilemma of, well, is my kid as good as I think he is? Or is the and it's so layered and so nuanced and so confusing at times to be a parent. There are books on parenting, but there's just no book I've read that's about parenting Cassius and Toussaint, my two sons. And so we kind of go on this journey. But I share that story with you because when you talk about it really comes down to community. And even as parents, it takes like other people outside of parents to help the kid get to where they need to go to become the men and women that they aspire to be. And so much of what we look to do is find a way to like push these young people forward and get out of the way at the same time. And it's such a hard thing to do. So it's one of the things that you will see us struggling with doing in our narrative.
Wow. Thank you so much, Reggie. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.